glad to have you with us on Assets Television News. I am Eugenia Solomon. The headlines. As Labour Party crisis deepens, a concerned Nigerian advises for cautions. Water Resources Minister cautions on flooding in Nigeria. Well, the Central Bank of Nigeria announces significant turnaround in Nigeria's balance of payment. Now the news in detail. The recent removal of Julius Abure as national chairman of the Labour Party offers more than a leadership shake-up, according to Francis Onabis, a politician and a public affairs analyst. According to him, it presents a rare and urgent opportunity to redefine what the party stands for and what kind of a political future it wants to offer Nigerians. He said, though he is not a member of the Labour Party, he is only concerned as Nigerian who believes in fairness, justice, and a possibility of a truly people-centered democracy. Onabis calls on the leadership of the Labour Party, especially Peter Obi, to use this pivotal moment to initiate bold reforms that distinguish the party from the same system it claims to challenge. According to Francis Onabis, in the 2023 elections, the Labour Party captured the imagination of millions, especially the youths, who were disenchanted with politics as usual. That groundswell of support was not for a party per se, but for an idea that a new Nigeria is possible. However, he expressed his dissatisfaction on the monetization of political participation, saying that it is disappointing and disheartening to see a party that brands itself as progressive asking aspirants to pay as much as 30 million naira just to obtain a nomination for, adding that Labour Party itself has now broken into several factions. One faction is led by Senator Nenadi Usman, loyal to Peter Obi, while Lamidi Apapa leads another with Julius Abure still claiming to be in charge despite Supreme Court sacking. While no fewer than 211,000 candidates on Thursday sat for the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME conducted by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB across designated computer-based test centers in the country. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloyede, who made the disclosure JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloyede, who made the disclosure while monitoring the exercise at the CBT Center in Wari, Abuja, revealed that the result of the mock examination would be released on Friday.
The first set of candidates are about finishing. They started at around 8:30, and the second batch, because we have fixed in all the states of the federation only one session. Only two or three states had two sessions. That's why we registered only the few we could manage. We are testing new things, and every session, with the one that started at 8:30 will soon finish.
While explaining the purpose of the UTME mock, Oloyede said the exercise is aimed at testing the board's readiness for the main examination and experimenting with new strategies to improve the process. Oloyede advised candidates to steer clear of fraudulent websites and individuals claiming to offer assistance during the examination, noting that the only way to pass UTME is by studying hard. JAMB has also opened a decoy website targeting such individuals.
We are trying to test the system. That's the purpose of the mock. But one thing is essential. We need to let the students know that the best way to pass the examination, UTME in particular, is to study. We are aware of some rogue websites asking people to come and pay that they can help. It cannot work.
Recall that the 2025 UTME is scheduled to commence on April 25th at approved CBT centers across the country. Well, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NIHSA, has released a 2025 flood outlook identifying 1,249 communities across 176 local government areas in 30 states and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) as being at high risk of flooding this year. In addition, the report highlights that another 2,187 communities in 293 local governments are expected to moderate flood risks. Some of the most vulnerable states include Abia, Benue, Lagos, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Jigawa. During the official launch of the forecast in Abuja, NIHSA also introduced a new initiative aimed at providing flood prediction tailored to individual communities. This move aligns with the event's theme, Flood Resilience, focusing on communities' preparedness and adaptive strategies for flood management. Speaking at the event, the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Engineer Joseph Utse, emphasized that flooding continues to be one of Nigeria's most destructive natural hazards. He also noted that climate change is contributing to the increasing frequency and intensity of flood events in the country.
Flooding is actually a result of overflow of water from our water bodies, and this is being caused by excessive rainfalls and other climate change that we cannot control. We do have to adapt and mitigate the challenges that can come. And today is my honor. I'm very delighted once again to welcome you to the 2025 Annual Flood Outlook presentation by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency today here in Abuja. It is noteworthy to mention that reducing and managing exposure to flood risk has been a prime focus of the federal government, as shown by numerous intervention programs of government to complement the annual publication by the agency.
Well, the AFO also contains 3 documents on flood forecast, offering details and scenarios of likely flooding events.
Learning from previous annual flood outlook, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency has taken innovative measures to look beyond the provision of flood early warning information and advisories to measures aimed at mitigating flood disaster, increasing the resilience of vulnerable communities, and in turning flaws from disaster to benefit.
The 2025 Annual Flood Outlook represents a forward-thinking approach to flood management, focusing on proactive planning, scientific data, and empowering local communities to take action. Well, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has announced a significant turnaround in the country's balance of payments, posting a supply of $6.83 billion for the 2024 financial year. In a statement signed by the Acting Director, Corporate Communications, CD Ali Hakama, this marks a decisive shift from the deficit of $3.34 billion in 2023 and $3.32 billion in 2022, reflecting the impact of wide-ranging macroeconomic reforms, stronger trade performance, and renewed investor confidence in Nigeria's economy. According to the statement, the current and capital account recorded a surplus of $17.22 billion in 2024, underpinned by a goods trade surplus of $13.17 billion. In a significant move aimed at reducing fuel prices nationwide, the Dangote refinery has announced a downward revision of its ex-depot petrol loading price to 865 naira per litre. The reduction has been linked to the federal government's pledge to continue the naira for crude policy to domestic refineries. This marks a 15 naira reduction from the previous Dangote petrol price rate of 880 naira per litre recorded just a day earlier. According to reports, the price cut was communicated to marketers and customers via a notice issued on Thursday morning with a pro forma invoice confirming the new rate. Industry insiders have earlier disclosed that the 650,000 barrel per day refinery was expected to reduce its petrol loading cost before the end of the week, a move predicted to ease pressure on the pump price and support ongoing efforts to stabilize fuel supply. With that story, we end the news. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and programs. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Eugenia Solomon. Thank you for watching.